Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for August 3rd. Taking a look at the US-Japanese yen pair, I'm expecting this next session to be within a range of 109.36 on the higher side, on the lower side 107.81. Now, if you notice this bar, this session closed down today, it did form an inside bar, so definitely be looking for the market possibly to, if it moves to this point, which that's a pretty good distance to go. But if it does happen to break this high here, I'm going to look for it to go back to this open fairly quick. So keep that in mind as the session moves forward. It looks like, at least so far, it's moving lower. It probably will move lower. It's moving sideways overall, but the bias is definitely to the downside, and so for it to move higher and break through that point, it's kind of unlikely. But there again, if it does happen, we've had days like this. So if it does happen, that's what I'm going to look for. Probably drop down to that 30-minute hour time frame, somewhere in there, and try to grab a few pips there. So that's something that you need to consider. Now I'm looking for resistance to come in a little bit lower at 108.60, and as far as support goes, looking for support pretty much at this same level. Switching over to the Euro USD pair, this particular pair is moved down but pulled back pretty significantly prior to the close. I'm looking for this next session's range to be between 145.62 on the high side and 143.43 on the lower side. Looking for support and resistance pretty much at the same spot. I do anticipate this pair moving higher today or during this next session. I'll be surprised if we close down for this next session. But there again, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, taking a look at the pound, this pair just continues to move lower. I'm expecting this next session to be between 178.70 and on the lower side 176.15. And this pair, it's moving lower pretty much across the board, across all currencies. I scanned through some of the other pound pairs and just to take a look at them and to see what it's doing, and it's pretty much just tanking all the way across the board, which is a good sign if you're going short. Now switching over to the US Swiss, this pair moved much higher today and then broke our trend line, upper trend line here, and then pulled back and actually closed lower today. I'm expecting this next session to be between, on the high side, 112.07 and on the lower side 110.12. Now I am expecting some resistance to come into the market around 111, and as far as support, looking for support pretty much at the same level as our lower target for the range. If you recall, yesterday I talked about hang on one second, there we go. Talked about if the market, the market's moving within a trend here, and if we get basically a pullback to this point, then we should look to buy because it is trending up long term within a range. And I don't know if it'll pull back today to this point or not, but it definitely could still be a play that you look to trade. If it pulls back, you could buy into the market and place a stop loss below the lower trend line. I know that what I've drawn isn't perfect, but you can go back and take a look at and draw straighter trend lines on your chart to identify the exact points, and then place an exit at this point. And it definitely will be a good risk to reward ratio for that move if you're looking for it. Now looking at the news that came out, we had the Eurozone GDP that came out pretty much as expected, but the retail sales were lower than expected, down year to date from negative 3.1% to negative 2.8%. The Bank of Canada released a rate decision, and it was to hold, and that was as expected. Now, moving forward, we have the Australian dollar has their trade balance for July at 9:30. That's tonight, and there's no consensus at this time. So we'll just have to wait and see when it's released what the numbers actually come out to be. Big moves tomorrow. We have tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. We have the Bank of England's rate decision. It's anticipated that they are going to hold their rate at 5%. Then at 7:45 a.m., 45 minutes later, we have the European Central Bank releasing their rate decision, and it's estimated that they will hold their rate as well at 4.25%. This has the ability to move the market, especially if it comes out unexpected. If the pound or the euro moves their rates unexpectedly, we can definitely see large jumps in the currency pairs. So that's definitely something you're going to want to tune in and take a look at. So until tomorrow, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.